Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to my spoiler review. I will talk spoilers for the Book of Boba Fett episode 1. Yeah, that crept up on us, didn't it? Didn't realise it was the 29th. But it's here, the long-awaited semi-sequel, I guess, to The Mandalorian Season 2. I mean, it is a sequel to The Mandalorian Season 2. And let's discuss it, right? So, again, we need to talk spoilers about this because ultimately, I could say it's decent, go and watch it, but I can't really get into the whys, the hows, what exactly makes it only just okay. Is this an episode? And in fairness, it needs a discussion because I don't think it's just okay. I actually quite enjoyed it. But there were certain elements that I thought were lacking, but potentially that's just my perception of it, right? And that's why we need a bit of a discussion on this. So, episode 1. We start off in a back-to-tank. Boba is in a back-to-tank. Just sat there, we're dreaming, basically. And we're getting flashbacks. Okay, so we get flashbacks to him coming out the Sarlacc pit. And this is primarily my main issue. But I think it's just my personal perception and my preconceived notion of what should have happened, right? And I can recognise that, but that's why we have to have this more of a discussion piece rather than me just sat here going, oh, well, it was blah, blah, blah. There's no point doing that. So they deal with him coming out the Sarlacc pit like that, done. And I thought that was really anticlimactic, and I would have liked a bit more of a build-up. Now, I can potentially understand why they're doing that, because they want to get from A to B quicker, and then go through the rest of the alphabet, right? Progress the story onwards. But this is something which has gripped people for some time. How did he get out the Sarlacc pit? What did he do? How did he achieve it? Oh, it's this big ultimate thing that can just destroy, digest things for the next 1,000 years or whatever it was. And he just wakes up in the Sarlacc pit. He shimmies on over, spots a stormtrooper, shimmies on over, takes one of his air tubes out, breathes in, then does a flamethrower, and then he's out. I thought that was really shit. Too quick. Way too quick. That is something which has plagued people's minds for a really long time. People wanted to know, how did he get out? How? And I feel like that was it's a hand wave away. And what they could have done, and what I think that they should have done, is have that as the running narrative throughout the season. Every time he's in the back-to-tank, watch this struggle unfold, really grip us, build up the tension. We know he eventually comes out. So I would have liked to have seen him progress through that with a little bit more struggle. There's not that much risk to it. I get that, because we know that he does come out because we've seen him. Obviously, the show's about him. But I feel like they could have toyed with us a little bit more and just made it a bit more climactic, and it was quite anticlimactic. Now again, I'm not an idiot. I'm an idiot on some things, but I do understand, ladies and gents, that they wanted to get from A to B really quickly so they could then progress the story onwards. I understand that, but I feel like that is going to piss quite a few people off, basically. Now, from there, he gets captured. All of his armor gets taken by the Jawas, and they just beat him. Because he's absolutely exhausted on the sands, and they come and find him, and he's barely around at this point, barely conscious, and then they take his armor off. He just wakes up, and then they knock him out. So that was a bit fine, sure. They need a vehicle to get the armor away from him. I understand that, and obviously to get to Timothy Oliphant's character later down the line. Then he gets captured by sand people, and then from here there's this really long. They spent a long time on this, and they dedicated more time to this as a flashback than they did the Sarlacc pit. And I think that's the disservice part. That's the shame. Because we didn't know anything about the bloody sand people. Who cares at this point? People knew he was in the Sarlacc pit. Spend more time on that rather than this weird sand people story. So he gets captured by the sand people. He tries to escape. He gets knocked out again. There's just this series of events where he gets knocked out. He gets, all this kind of stuff. He's in this baking hot sun. And then he saves one of the sand people younglings from a Tatooine sand monster. And then boom, he's got respect, right? So, sure, fine, I guess. But no one was thinking, oh yes, please do show me the Sand People. They were thinking, no, show me how we got out the Sarlacc pit, right? And that was just done like that. But they spent a really long time, actually, on this Sand People flashbacks. Now, then we get to modern day. He is obviously ruling over Jabba's former empire, which was took over by Bib Fortuna. And he's sat there in the throne room and he's waiting tributes from everyone. That's what he's doing. He's awaiting tributes from people. And there, you know, some people bring tributes. One person didn't. The mayor's first, you know, right hand, first man, whatever, walks in and goes, "You have my heartfelt regards." And he's like, well, "That's not a tribute." And then before he goes, "There is the thing about a tribute," and then he wants a tribute. So it's setting up a bit of a mayor, because it's the mayor of Tatooine basically, or an area in Tatooine. It's setting up a feud there. Quite enjoyed that, but they are painting Boba Fett out to be not what people thought he was, you know. But in doing, like, he's he's taking a lot of shit basically at this point in time. Like, he kills one person later in the show, but then he's asking for the others to be alive. I get why, because he wants to know. Basically, a bunch of assassins drop around him. It's in the first trailer. A bunch of assassins drop around him. At least this big fight show, and then they all run away because they get the better hand, and then whatever. But it's kind of showing this divide between how Bib Fortuna and Jabba the Hutt used to rule. They used to do this, they used to do that, they used to do all these kind of things. And Boba's trying to do things a bit differently. And there is lines to that effect in the show, you know, I will rule with respect. And I get that. But is that what people thought that Boba Fett was? I don't know. Now, you could have done that a bit better. It's not very respectful for him to be assassinated. And that's what happens. He basically goes to one of Jabba's old things that he used to watch over, another bar. Goes to see the owner and he says, "Yep, you'll be protected under my watch, blah, blah, blah." And then he leaves with Fennec. And that's when the assassins come. But just prior to that, he says, "You know, I will rule with respect." But it's not very respectful, right? Respect is earned and given based on that. So, you know, I feel like, you know, there are opportunities where you can show him being absolutely fucking brutal, because people aren't showing him respect, thus not earning the respect, right? But they seem to be missing that in this first episode. And a lot of this episode is spent with this Sand People business. That better go somewhere, and it better be interesting, because you hand-waved away the Sarlacc pit situation to show us more of the Sand People stuff. If that doesn't go somewhere and it's not great, and it's not compelling, and it's not interesting, you've really, you have failed, I think, in a lot of people's eyes, pretty much straight from the off, actually. There was also some really dodgy effects. So that sand monster that Boba Fett fights, actually quite bad digital effects. And The Mandalorian, I think, was spectacular for its digital effects. That was actually quite jarringly shit. No word of a lie, it was quite jarringly a poo-poo. Not very good at all. Don't understand what happened there. Not good. Really, really not good. Well, the rest of it was great. Locations, sets, everything was great. We know how it's filmed now, and they did the stand-up job. I will say, please stop including goddamn parkour in your shows. No one likes parkour. It's super lame. It's in everything now, and it was for a long time, because it was massively popular, and then people were like, what is this crap? They're just jumping around bloody rooftops like ninjas. And there's an extended scene of parkour. Please just stop doing it. It's not cool. Outside of that, it's good to see Tamora Morrison. He's doing really good stuff. He's a good actor. You know, I buy him in this role, and he's really good in it. Fennec, great, no worries. Everyone else, good. There's my review. But I had to talk about that as non-spoilers. If you've seen it, what do you think? Do you think anything like I've just done, you know, with my thoughts on that? Let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Give the video a like, and please do share it, because it really does help the channel out. And if you enjoy my content and you're a long-time subscriber, go the extra mile, become a member of the channel, you get benefits, or become a patron, again, you get benefits. So please do check them out, links in the description box. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Cheers, guys. Take care.